Hello everybody, what's up, how you doing? Welcome back to the Game Making tutorial. Today marks the third video in the Pac Man series, and in this video we'll be going through collectibles. As you can see on the screen, it's pretty easy to see. But before we get on with that, let's recap last video. In the last video we created a very simple map like you see here, and the collision detection needed for it to actually work like it's supposed to. Now, as you can see here, the collectible system works like you walking to the coins, as you can see, or the cherries. Coins are each 10 points, while the cherries are 100, like in the original Pac Man game. And, well, nothing happens when you collect them all, but this is what we will do for this video. So, without further ado, let's get into Game Maker Studio. So, to start off this project, we'll have to add in the sprites for coin and cherry. Those will be a separate file in the description, and there will also be a file for this project file and the finished project that will be after the end of today's video in the description, so check that out if you want to just look at the code instead of go through the video. In there you'll find a spare coin, 32 by 32 with the mask just around the coin, centered, and 32 by 32 for the cherry as well, with the mask just around the cherry. I could have made it a little bit smaller, but right now it's okay. In this video, we want to utilize something very important to Game Maker, which is parents. Parents basically give off every code that I have to their children, which we're very good in this kind of collectible system, because we want the coins and the cherries all have the same base value. We collide with them, we get points, basically. So instead of having one collision check for cherry, one for coin, one for apple, etc., we have one object which is their parent, which we can check the collision with, and that will do it. As you can see, I've gone ahead, created a folder called Collectables, and an object called Power Collectables. Then we can create an object for coin. That was not what I wanted to do. There. Give it the according sprite and the correct parent there in the parent section. We'll also create here for OBJ cherry sprite and the correct parent, like so. Now we can go into OBJ player, add in a code. We want to have a variable that checks how many points we have. We'll start with 0 when the object is created. Then we want to also add another code inside of the step event for check collision with collectible. We want to check if place meeting x, y, and this is why parents are so important and good to use. If you can just check for the parent, and it will immediately check if you collide with one of the children. If you didn't use this way, you would have to check for coin and cherry separately, which could become a hassle and lots of code. Next, we want to create a temporary variable, and we want to set the object that we just collided with into a variable. So, instance nearest x, y, and power collectible. If it was a coin, we'll put the coin in here. If it was a cherry, we'll put that cherry in here. And when we collide with this, we want it to destroy itself. Instance destroy, like so. And then we'll go into the parent, add in a create event. And I'll just set points equal to 10. This will basically be what we will use as the points to give to the player when you collide with this. So we can do points plus equal points. It will take the current points that we have in OBJ player, and it will add the call point, which is 10 for now, to it. We'll also go into OBJ cherry. Since we want to have a different amount of points given from this, we want to set points to equal 100. If you want to run the code that it was in the Power Collectables create event after this, you could have put in this call event, but we don't need that since there's absolutely no cut there. Next, we'll also add in an object I'll call sysGUI. It's a bit bugged there. And this will be existing to give, so we can see on the screen how many points there is. This might get changed in the future videos, but for now it's just a good way to know whether or not we get points. We'll call var points equal to obj player points. We'll want to draw set alpha to 1. It's not very important in the current project, but later on, if you start to play around with alpha, you want to set this to 1 so that it's always fully visible, or 0.7 if you want it slightly opaque. That leads up to your preference. I want to say draw text at 2.2. I want it to say points plus points, but this will give an error. Parentheses. When you run this, it will give an error because points, the variable, is not text, so we'll have to change that into a string, like so. Now it will write points is what a semicolon space and the amount of points we have, which is currently at 0 since there is no objects in the screen. Now we'll put the GUI in this corner and start to decorate the screen with the coins and the cherries. And that's it. After having run that program, this is what you come up with. A simple math collision detection working, that's from the previous video, and there's a lot of coins in here that you collide with. As you saw, I got 10 points with doing it with this one. Another 10, another 10, another 10 for each point, and when we try with cherries, 100. Basically exactly what we wanted. Later on in the series, we'll probably add more fruits and the power pellets that you can turn the ghost edible, for example. But for now, this is about what we want to go through. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like, and if you loved it, then make sure to subscribe, because that helps me out a lot. If you have any suggestions for what we can do in this series or in another series, just as a Game Maker tutorial, leave that in the comments or Facebook and Twitter, which you'll see on the screen and in the description. So, without further ado, good night, and a great day.